This is Ryan Horlacher, and I'm presenting today on just-in-time production or just-in-time inventory for Dr. Christensen's Accounting 6100 class. So just-in-time production is a method widely used in many manufacturing settings. It's also being adapted for many service industries. Just-in-time is a philosophy which urges companies to minimize inventory. This is done by limiting production to the exact amount needed by the subsequent workstation or distributor in the production chain. A broader application of these same principles is called lean production. Lean production initiatives strive to eliminate all activities within a business that add cost but no value to the finished product. Processes are identified, observed, and then improved or eliminated depending on the needs of the firm. Just-in-time fits nicely into this because it eliminates the cost of carrying large amounts of inventory. Inventory refers to products in all stages, from raw inputs to finished goods. These costs add no value to the finished product. The goal is to reduce the time from input to output and minimize the amount of waste incurred. If done correctly, just-in-time can minimize costs, maximize output, and reduce defects. So a little bit on the history of just-in-time. It was originally used by Ford in the 1920s, 1930s, but it didn't gain widespread use until much later when Toyota studied it and adopted it. Once Toyota used it so successfully, many more American firms, primarily in the automobile and manufacturing industries, began to adopt it. Once in the United States, it was known as just-in-time or lean production, but Toyota over in Japan, it was called the Toyota production system. So the primary goals or benefits of just-in-time is to minimize inventory so that costs are reduced, minimize throughput time so that a company can reduce the time from acquiring a raw input to getting a product to market. And by doing this, it actually allows the companies to produce more, so it maximizes output. Now there are some risks associated with just-in-time. Primarily, the risks are attributable to the supply chain. If a company is not carrying any inventory, then it absolutely must have reliable suppliers who can deliver in a timely fashion and who can deliver varying quantities because production can change from day to day. If properly managed, a supply chain can be flexible and reliable, but no company is totally protected. In fact, as the global economy continues to develop, supply chain risks become more and more pronounced for a number of reasons. Uncertainty in supply and demand, globalization of the market, shorter and shorter product and technology life cycles, and increased use of outsourcing are all things that affect the supply chain. And the gist of all of those is that supply chains are becoming more and more complex, more and more widespread, and longer. So for example, a computer company could produce a computer that uses 1,000 different parts, each one by a different distributor in 5 different continents. So if even one of those suppliers has a problem, the finished product is going to be affected. And so either production will stop or there will be a large amount of defects. But all the risks of just-in-time are typically associated with that supply chain. So when a company is looking to implement just-in-time, there's a number of things that it needs to keep in mind. First, it's not for everybody. Only in certain situations are companies going to be able to practically use just-in-time. Primarily those firms with larger firms with very reliable suppliers. It works great for companies that would normally have to carry very expensive inventory or very large amounts of inventory because those costs can be minimized. Success does take time. It could take a couple of years to see significant results. And just-in-time has to be a core philosophy of the company to truly be successful, not just something that's a flash in the pan or implemented in one department to try and improve numbers. So in conclusion, I want to tell a quick story that I think illustrates some of the strengths and weaknesses of just-in-time production. During the Civil War, the southern states attempted to pressure England into helping them by threatening to cut off the supply of cotton to England's booming textile industry. What the southern states didn't realize was that England had been stockpiling cotton for the last couple of years for just such an occasion. Because England had such a large inventory of cotton already, They were able to simply wait out the problems and then continue production with no interference. Compare this to a company using just-in-time. If there's a supply shock, then production has to stop. A company carrying lots of inventory can continue producing until a new supplier can be found or until supply resumes. So the trade-off of just-in-time is a classic risk and reward scenario. Any company that's able to eliminate excess costs is going to have a competitive advantage, but it comes with a higher risk. So in conclusion, most companies not going to be able to use just-in-time, but for those companies that are able to do it reliably, it's a great competitive advantage.